Okay, okay. Hold. I just need to check, okay? Because I need to use the dang mic. Like, let me see, dude. Wait, I just need to verify. Okay, hello, hello. Wait, is it working? I just need to verify. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Is it working? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I guess the mic is working, right? It should work. I don't know. I'm still suspicious. Okay, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So back on live today, and honestly, what's it even called? This whole it's. I just need to charge this one. Ugh. So there's a lot to talk about. Okay, I am back on live. Nothing's gonna change about my live streams. Well, let me not talk really quick, but I am gonna continue going live and everything like that. But there's a lot of things that are going to change, which I will be discussing before we actually go into the topic of today's live stream. And honestly, I'm gonna try to have my live streams be this way instead of being the kind of phone direction, if you know what I'm talking about. But basically, a lot is going to be changing when it comes to my live streams because I think that my live streams is literally the thing that is completely different from my actual channel. And so I have a lot, there was a lot I had to think about when it came to that. And so let's just get right into it. I'm going to talk about the few little changes that I'm going to do. Okay. So obviously this channel, I did start going live as just a fun way to interact with the people that already subscribed to me or new community members and stuff as such. But with time, now that I'm kind of growing my foundation, I'm starting to realize that, it's not attracting the right audience. I am so thankful for all of my audience, obviously, but what I mean by that is that when you have a niche for yourself that you're trying to grow a community based off, you want to make sure that you grow the right community, that you attract the right people. And when you don't do that, they don't come for your content or they just come for what is actually attracting them to your channel. For example, maybe that my live stream starting to attract, you know, people for my personality, for the way I talk, for the way I'm just communicating with them. But that's not the main point. Obviously, my channel is mainly about me, so obviously my personality is going to show a little bit. But my channel is mainly based off self-improvement. So I want people to know this channel and me for self-improvement and not for my live streams, which weren't completely different from my content on my channel. This is so annoying. This is so annoying. I don't know why the heck it reconnected. But anyway, I hope you did not hear that. I was just saying that I want to focus more on building this foundation of people that are actually interested in self-improvement, people that are there for self-improvement and not just for something that I'm offering on my live streams I'm not offering on my channel. Basically, I think that it's as simple as that, but that's just what it is. And yeah, so based off this observation, I just want to do something different, which I'm also going to talk about. Hi, Angry Alex. How are you doing today? You're back on live. Nice to have you back. So now that I've thought about all of that, what I'm gonna do about that is just I'm gonna make my channel all about self-improvement. I'm not gonna do live streams where I'm just gonna chat with you guys with things that don't aren't really related to self-improvement or just my life. I don't really talk about that, but just stuff outside of my content. I'm not going to be talking about these things as much anymore. I'm just going to focus more on making sure that I stay in my niche every single time I talk about something instead of just talking about different things that are irrelevant to what I actually post on my channel. And so that's why I kind of adjusted my channel and just removed few videos or few shorts that were probably not even related. But other than that, yeah, just going to focus more on self-improvement content, what my channel is about, what the message I want to give from my channel, and not actually just talk to talk. Because from the start I said, oh, I'm gonna start live streaming just to talk and communicate with you guys and do whatever. But even if I really want to do that, I'm gonna just decide to make a different channel. Okay, I'm not gonna make that part of this channel just because it's just gonna mess it up. So that's just what it is. But anyway, I hope that I said everything I had to. But basically, yeah, we're gonna now, since I'm not, because for the past 2 months I've been just going live whenever the heck I wanted and everything as such. But now I'm actually gonna go live every Friday, once a week. At the moment, there's times that I'm gonna go twice per week, but that's gonna be about, I don't even know, to be honest. I'm gonna figure it out. But what's it even called? Yeah, for now I'm gonna go live every Friday around this time. And yeah, everyone's welcome to join. And I'm just gonna talk about topics. And today's topic is social media, okay? And how I think that it's bad. So I think that we should get right into it. Probably not. No, we should. What am I saying? Okay. Oh my god, dude. Okay, so let's just have a little recap when it comes to social media and what it is and how it's bad or everything as such. But let's just talk about the little foundation of it. So social media, is just this kind of thing that people use to interact with other individuals online and just to have a great time, share their life, share their stories, share everything they want to share to the public, but as a online kind of form. And over the years, it's been great. I'm pretty sure social media was pretty good. There was nothing too crazy, too bad about it. But with time, especially during COVID time, I'm pretty sure that it just got crazy, okay? And got out of control and just started sharing and just making people really addicted to it and have people be dependent off of social media or just the internet as a whole. And so it's just kind of a platform that is used to share your day-to-day life, everything you want to share to the public and everything as such. And over time it just grew to being toxic in my opinion, and just have people be completely addicted to it and be dependent off of it, which I think is bad. So honestly, when it comes to that, honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to social media myself if people were not addicted to it. But honestly, social media has been designed in a way for you to automatically slowly get attached to it because it wants you to consume more, especially these short form content platforms like TikTok, Instagram. I don't know why the heck. This is the second time it's reconnecting. Anyway, what was I even saying, to be completely honest with you? I'm just still trying to figure that out. Oh, hold on. Subscribe to join the community. And then I'm just gonna put the dang thing. Because honestly, I don't think that I can do a poll on this kind of form. I don't even know what the heck I'm supposed to call it. Can I even pin the dang thing? Not sure. I tried to. Anyway, so let me go back to what I was saying. What was I even talking about? Yeah, I was talking about how social media, I think, is bad, and that even if we want to look at the pros of it and how good it could be or it should be, I don't think, because look, social media has been designed in a way for you to actually be addicted to it. It wants you to be addicted to it. It wants you to consume more and be on the platforms for much more than you should. And even though it's not healthy, that's literally its design. I don't even That's what it's meant to do to you. And, if people were able to have full control over themselves and what they do, and obviously how they use social media, I think that it wouldn't be a problem. Maybe that people would use it for a few minutes, but it's not really realistic when it comes to the human anatomy and how we're actually designed and how our brain can be tricked into just consuming this, as we're seeing a bunch of people, or basically most of the world or population, just consuming social media and online content for so long and so much of it, and having no control over themselves, no discipline over themselves. And it's just kind of, wow, this is not okay. People should have more control over their lives and how they use everything and how they decide to use their time. But it's quite the opposite, to be completely honest with you. And it's quite scary when you, as yourself, just completely shut down social media to actually focus on yourself and live life how it is, and actually realize how people are using it around you and how addicted and attached to their phones they actually are. But we're gonna get back to that in a second. But basically, I think that, let's say there's this individual that was a kid. Obviously, they were a baby, okay? As a baby, they didn't really know. You don't know what you're doing when you're a baby, but that baby grew a bit. They became toddlers, kids, and with time, they got exposed to social media, and they just kind of didn't have any other choice but to used off electronics, and you can't just get away and not know it exists. You just kind of are exposed to it, and you kind of just have to. So the baby grew, and you know, oh my gosh, give me a second. I think I'm glitched. Oh, anyway, the baby grew as a toddler. They got exposed by social media. Maybe that they first understood what social media is. Not social media, sorry, the internet or electronics. They knew what it is, because what it was, because of their parents, maybe their family, and everything as such. Because to be honest, kids just go to the park, stay home, daycare, school, I don't know. And so they maybe started or had to start to understand how to use it because everyone's using it. You can't tell me that there's someone, probably, but it's quite rare to see someone that does not have social media or does not have an electronic at all because honestly, it's kind of a norm nowadays. You just kind of have to. Especially a phone, you just have to have a phone just for emergencies and everything as such. But anyway, the baby just started to realize that, oh, there's this thing that produces light and that can be used to watch things, maybe a phone, maybe an iPad. And they just started just using it to do whatever the heck they started learning from it. Maybe that they first discovered YouTube, maybe that their parents introduced them to YouTube, and made them understand that, oh, there's moving animated people that move whenever you just watch the video. And so they see a bunch of colors, bunch of lights, bunch of characters which they think are people moving, and they get interested. Their brain automatically is just quite interested in this and wants more. So the baby just maybe signals to their parents that, oh, they want more, they want to watch this new thing or this thing, or they want their parents' phone to watch that thing or to watch this game. No, watch this game? Play this game. And so the baby just kind of gets used to it and they get more excited to use it. So they continue using it. They just want to use it because they got exposed to it. So now they're excited. They discovered something new, When kids learn something new, they get excited and they want more of it, you know? Same thing as when kids eat food for the first time. They get really excited and they just want to eat more different kind of foods, I assume. So they get exposed to it, they want more. And with time, obviously, they grow up and they maybe become pre-teens and they just go to school. So when you're at school, you see a bunch of your peers just having things that you wish you maybe had. Because honestly, when you're a kid, you get influenced by your surroundings because you don't have much self-discipline to actually know that you should have your own ideas. You should know what you want to do on your own or stuff as such. So, with time as a preteen, they just grow up into this kind of atmosphere, school, friends, and they see a bunch of their classmates, even teachers, who have electronics or just everything as such, phones, and then they kind of pressure their parents that to have one. They tell their parents that they want one, and because they're seeing their surroundings having it. And the moment that phone is handed to that kid, the kid is exposed to everything. They're gonna be exposed to everything, literally everything, and you can't deprive them from that because you bought them a phone. So now they have access to everything part of the internet. So as soon as they have that phone and that they are able to interact with whatever the heck they want, they are going to want to know more and more and more. There's going to have this rotation in their brain that will want them to want more, more, and more. And because of that, they start to get addicted. They start to want more. They start to just need more. Basically, they're craving this kind of consumption. Huh? I don't know even if I said that right, but they are craving to watch more, to consume more, and it's just this pattern that indicates that they are addicted. They're starting to get addicted. They need that. They need it. They can't even go a day, an hour, a minute without using it. They need to use it to feel good and to feel as if they felt something. Because that's the cycle that goes into your brain. When you are so used to or you get so used to using something, you just naturally want more of it and want to use more of it and consume more of it. And with the internet, that's basically what it is, okay? But it's just a form of content or entertainment that is keeping you from using more and more and more of it. And when you want to get out of it, you can't. Why? Because it's so hard. It's so hard. Once you get I'm not gonna use a real serious addiction, okay? That can actually harm the body, okay? Let's talk about sugar. I know that maybe it can be harmful, but it's not as serious as other kind of actual drugs. But sugar, when you consume it, okay, when you start consuming it, you're gonna start having this kind of spike that goes into your brain and tells you, this is actually really good. The sugar is making you have this kind of feeling that, this is good. So you kind of just discover this kind of taste bud that amazes you. And once you have that and it reaches your brain is going to remember it. And your brain will tell you, I want that. Because your brain is also going to tell you, I'm craving that, so you should give me that. And that's when you continue eating it. You eat more and more of it as the day goes. And when you eat so much of it, there's a point that you reach that just you start to not because at some point when you consume too much of something, you kind of get disgusted. You kind of just don't taste it as good anymore. But somehow there's something that is part of your body that tells you you should continue eating it. Even if it's not good, I swear to you, I've been through that phase. I don't care. But there's this kind of signal that tells you, this is I should continue eating it. I have to continue eating it. You're kind of forced to because you already put yourself into that situation. And even though it doesn't taste good anymore, you kind of just have to taste it or eat it because your brain is used to it and your brain tells you that you need it. And when you try to stop, when you try or you tell yourself that you're going to completely stop and quit eating it, it's almost impossible. There's this kind of cycle that you stop consuming it. Okay, I'll give you that. You stop consuming it. But after a few days, few hours, you go back to it. And then you're kind of like, ugh, I already did it. So there's maybe no point for you to continue that good pattern. But basically that, okay, it comes to the same thing when it comes. I don't know why the heck I said that. But when it comes to social media, it's basically the same thing. You go into something that you didn't know was bad, and you go into something that you didn't know was bad because you were a kid and you got exposed to it for the first time by your peers, your parents, your family. And then at some point, you just grow to understand what it is and what it's doing to your body, your brain, and how it's controlling your life, having control over your whole life, your full life. And when you get to a point where that enjoyment is not good for you anymore, that you just don't like it, or that you're not feeling any kind of pleasure when you are watching a good video, or just a TikTok that was not big of a deal for you anymore, and it gets hard for you to even just stop. And even if you tell yourself that, you know what, even if you were to go on social media or just scroll for a bit, it would be for less than 30 minutes. But then you exceed that time because it's kind of a habit, a bad habit, okay? That is so hard to even get rid of or just to not touch anymore or interact with anymore. And even if you water, even if you were to want to stop, it would be so difficult. Okay, so difficult, so hard. But basically, just to say that social media is a bad present that you don't even know is a bad present until you actually open it. And then you get trapped. And when you even do decide that that's it, you want to stop, you want to not use it anymore, you don't want to use it that way anymore, you don't want to use it or have it be in control of your life anymore, it's just so difficult. That cycle is so hard to just completely get out of your life, basically. But now I think that we actually we didn't solve the problem, okay? But now that we discussed about how the heck social media works and how it gets to you, how it takes control over your life, I think that it's now important to talk about how to actually get rid of that bad habit. Because as we all know, that cycle is really hard to break. It's really hard to actually not have it anymore. It can even be impossible for some individuals. But let's just talk about how the heck we can just get rid of it as much as we can. So, what I want you to understand is that it's not simple. It's really not. And it's going to take time. I know that you want this solution that will completely be quick and that will change your life and just, you know, be quick and fast, but good things take time. Everything, even if we're not talking about this topic, okay, every other topic I'm going to talk about, you just have to know that in life in general, good things take time. So you have to be patient. So, since we already know that social media is kind of, I'm gonna, we could consider it as a drug, okay? Because it's addicting and it can cause harm to yourself, your habits, your good habits, okay, and just your life in general. So now, the way that I truly believe you can solve this problem is by, first of all, if you're not a content creator, I think that it's really important for you to remove and delete the applications that don't do any good to you. For example, if you use a lot of your day on Instagram, then I think that you should delete Instagram. On Snapchat, you should delete it. On TikTok, you should delete it. And with that time that you delete all of these apps, I think that you should start to learn what you like, what life is about, what you think your life should look like. And you should start to know what your hobbies are, what you love to do. Just start to learn yourself so that you understand what you like and what you don't like, so that you start to build these amazing hobbies that you can do instead of doom scrolling. And when you have this kind of time alone with yourself, you're just gonna automatically have a self reflection. And it's going to just help you to understand what you like, understand what you would do if you didn't even have social media or anything as such, or the internet to entertain you. How would you be, or how would you entertain yourself if social media did not exist, if the internet did not exist? That's what I think you should do during that period, that you completely delete these applications that are completely taking control over your life. You should delete them and figure yourself out. Figure out what you think is good for you, what you think you are good at doing, what you think will entertain you, the hobbies that you can build, the things that you love to do, the things that you loved to do. Even if it's something that you maybe don't do anymore, you can maybe figure out that, whoa, that's something that you probably love to do, you still love to do. For example, if you delete all of these applications that you are addicted to, you can maybe realize that, oh, you love to do art. Oh, you love to do crafts. Oh, you love to walk. Oh, you love nature. Oh, you love to collect new kinds of flowers. Oh, you love to just listen to birds. Oh, you love to run. Oh, you love to work out. There's a bunch of things to do that you don't even realize because of this closed mind that you kind of got from the habit of being on social media and the habit of having things or entertainment easily access to you. But now that you decide to delete these applications, you're going to have much more time to have reflection over yourself, reflection of what you actually love to do and how you actually want your life to look like, and not the way social media is kind of controlling it to become. And, you know, that's my advice, especially because if you're not a creator, I don't think that you need these applications. Maybe that there's a creator that is helping you to get your life together, helping you get through life. Then maybe that you should start to learn this kind of discipline when it comes to being on these applications and just being on the app for what you need. But I know how hard that is and how it can get you back to what you're doing. So that's why I'm kind of, you know, but also I think that why I'm talking about deleting them as the great solution is because I truly think that when something is out of sight, it's out of mind. For example, I have this water bottle. Okay. Right now it's in my sight. It's literally there. I can see it. And I'm probably craving to have it. I want the water. I need it because I keep seeing it. But do you really think that if this water bottle was just not there, that I would always be thinking about it? And the more it's away from me, the more I control where it is, it's just not going to be part of my day to day thoughts. It's not going to be in my mind as much as it is when it's in front of me. When you control where the thing you have is, the more you have control over your thoughts. If you buy a bag of candy that you tell yourself should last at least a month, and you keep it on your desk or somewhere that you just see all of the time, do you really think it's gonna last a month? It's really not. It's really not, because when something is literally seen, when you can see something, you're most likely to just go naturally to it. For example, your phone, since that's what we're talking about, you always see it. You just kind of have to see it because obviously phones are pretty important. If you need to call someone, if someone needs to call you, I think that's basically what it's meant for. But I think that, phones maybe, no, literally the phone, sure, you kind of have to have it present. It kind of has to be in front of you. But you can also control when it's in front of you or when you need it to be in front of you. For example, you have a bunch of homework, you have a bunch of things to do, but you keep your phone in front of you. Be so realistic. You're going to go on that phone. You are. Because it's right there and you know what you can do on your phone. You know that you can doom scroll on it. You know that you can get entertained from it. So you know what it provides to you. and you are interested in what it provides, so you will want to have it as soon as you can, even if you're doing something that you need to finish. So, what I think you should do instead of have it on your desk when you're doing something so important is just take your phone and put it somewhere else. Put it away from you, far away, somewhere that is hard for you to reach, or that you're just going to be so lazy to just get up to get the dang phone. Okay. Um, and you don't even need to, put it at the end of the world. You can put it in your closet, in a box, under your bed, under something, just somewhere that just doesn't make you look at it. And also turn off your notifications, obviously. I don't, but yeah. Oh my god, dude. It's like burning. That's why I keep touching it. But I don't even know why. But yeah, I think that out of sight, out of mind. But if you don't want to delete it, I think that out of sight, out of mind is basically what it is. You take your phone or you take whatever the distraction is and you put it somewhere that will be hard to reach. Oh my god, dude. Give me a second. I'm back. Honestly. Hello, oh my gosh, I don't know. I can't pronounce your user, but how are you doing today? How's been your day? Bro, I had to leave because my eye was burning somehow. That's okay. But honestly, we're still talking about what's it even called? Phone addiction, obviously, and how I think that out of sight, out of mind really works. Some people might be against it because it's their they say that it maybe doesn't solve the whole situation, but I actually think it can, and that it could be a great way to get rid of your addiction. Amari. Okay, hi, Amari. How are you doing today? How's been your day so far? You already subscribed? Well, really great. Really glad you're part of the community. I hope you're enjoying the content. I don't know if you've been watching my videos, but yeah, my channel is basically based off self-improvement, and you're welcome to be part of it. But yeah, for example, if you're doing homework, I truly believe that if your phone is the biggest issue, that you just Put it somewhere, put it under your phone, put it under your bed, put it in a box, put it somewhere that will make you forget about it on obviously and make you accomplish what you need to at the moment. If your iPad is a problem, then put it away, hide it. If you are trying to eat without electronics because you are so used to just being entertained and eating, then make sure to leave your phone in your room and go eat. Do not bring your electronic with you. I think that it's an easy fix, but it's also pretty hard to actually do it. So, if you do good in school, give you what? Super chats. Ooh, okay, you're thinking about super chats. That's pretty cool. What? Whoa, she's giving you $5,600? That's crazy. That's crazy. But good for you. Good for you. Can you have mod? So I actually give mod to people that show up on my live streams often. So if I see that you're a consistent viewer, then obviously I'm gonna give it to you. But for the moment, that's basically how I deal with my mods. And obviously I only have 3 mods, which tells you a lot about how strict I am about it. But obviously if you show up more, then I'll be more than happy to give it to you. So yeah, of course. But what's it even called? Yeah, I think that out of sight, out of mind really works. I think that if you really want something for you and you want to get rid of your phone addiction, your social media addiction, that you can totally do that with full control over yourself. And you cannot continue blaming your emotions and how, ugh, you think that you it's too hard for you, that this, that you're giving all these kind of excuses and you're ending up not doing what you think is best for you. I think that that mentality is also really bad for you because you basically don't believe in yourself. You basically have no self discipline. And I think that self discipline is what will get you to even be consistent when it comes to your social media addiction. You can't continue blaming your habits or your bad habits or your surroundings. You have to blame yourself at some point and realize that you are the one doing bad and that you are the one that needs to have full control over what you want for yourself, the goals that you want for yourself, instead of always blaming it on this, that, this. No, that's not how life works. I'm sorry for you, that you have to hear it that this way. But when something happens to you, you always have to tell yourself that it's your fault and that you should do better. Okay, I know that it's hard, but you can't keep diving into these excuses that are not going to make you progress into what you want for yourself and the things you want to achieve for yourself. If you want to get better at sport, you're not gonna be there like, ugh, you don't know how to run. Ugh, it's so hard. You still have to push through it. You can't act like a baby. You're not a baby. You're obviously growing, right? So you have to push through hardships because that's how you succeed. So if you're going through this kind of social media addiction, you have to push through it instead of always blaming this, that. No, you have to blame you because it's always about you. And I think that you should build this kind of self-discipline. Because self-discipline, to be honest, is all it kind of revolves over everything that we go through life, every hardship that we go through life. We have to go through discipline to actually get through it. But I truly believe that it's hard, and I'm gonna talk about my experience in a second. But yeah, what's it even called? Ooh, the chat is running. Eat out of a restaurant. Mom has no food at home. She has ice cream. Okay. She has no. Okay, so I guess that. Are you guys gonna eat? Oh, you're gonna say that you're gonna eat at a restaurant. Okay. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. But what's it even called? I think that out of sight, out of mind really works if you use it properly and if you actually start to develop this kind of consistency that will make you progress and have this kind of better mentality when it comes to social media, and that over time you're going to have control over when you do have that device in front of you, and that you have no other choice but to have it in front of you, and you're going to start using it properly instead of just poorly or in a way that will not benefit you or just make you just go backwards each and every single time. So I think that it's really important to know. I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. This is the fourth time my live stream has disconnected, but it's okay. I don't even know. Okay, so yeah, I know that I'm talking about a lot about this whole thing, but what's it even called? Yeah, basically you have to strengthen your mind and make sure that you basically know what to do when it comes to these hardships and build yourself or build your mind when it comes to these hardships and overcome them. But basically, if I keep going, I'm just gonna be talking. So basically, in conclusion, I think that first you need to, one second. First, I think that you need to delete the applications when you're going through this phone addiction. Delete the applications, all the apps that are distracting you, delete them for at least a week or two if you can. But basically, delete them. That's the first step. For that whole week, I want you to focus on yourself, the goals, the values you have for yourself, the hobbies that you didn't even know you had. You love to walk, do art, talk to people, be social, uh, go to events, work out. These little things that you love to do, you're gonna discover through that whole week that you delete these applications. And then when that week is over, you're gonna so basically during that week, I just want you to understand who you are, try to learn who you are, try to learn who the heck what kind of person you are, what kind of things you like, what kind of hobbies you love for yourself. Basically learn yourself. And with that time, you're going to learn, you're going to understand more about yourself. You're obviously not going to figure everything out about yourself. But after that, after that whole week, it's for you to decide. You either keep the apps deleted or you put them back with restriction. And whenever you need to do something really important, even if you have this whole plan you set up for your day, then make sure to have your electronics or anything that is distracting you out of sight. This water bottle is in front of me, it's in my sight. So obviously I'm going to think about it so much more. I can't see it. I can't see it, so I'm not going to think of it as much. I swear to you, it works. And with time, if you do this for 90 days, I guarantee you that your whole mindset is going to change. You're going to see social media so much differently. You're going to use it so much differently. And you're just going to see life so much differently because I think that we have this whole personality based off social media and we're not able to have our own thoughts, our own ideas, our own perspectives. But once you get out of social media and you just have you can think with your own brain, your own mind, your own ideas. You start to live life for you with your own ideas, with your own values, and everything as such. And yeah, I think that's really what it is. I think that's what it is. And with these 30 or 90 days, I think that you should always just strengthen your mind, strengthen your idea about social media, and not think that social media is in control of you, but you're in control of it. But basically, discipline, out of sight, out of mind, time, be patient. Okay, so that's what it is. And yeah, so now I'm gonna give you guys a little example because I know that I'm talking a lot about this, that you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, you should keep it out of sight, it's gonna be out of mind. But I'm gonna talk to you about experience because you're probably talking about like how does this girl even why is she talking about this? How what does she know about this? Because she's literally using YouTube. She's on social media. YouTube counts as social media basically. But I'm gonna give you a little example that is based off me. Okay. So me personally, before I even started doing YouTube, I started doing YouTube for about what almost a year to be honest. And so I was just a regular person. I still am, obviously. Everyone is. But I was just using social media as it was and just, doom scrolling, wasting my time because, to me, there wasn't nothing to do at all. All there was to do was just be on social media, just be wasting my time and stuff as such. But I got so sick and tired of it. I got disgusted with myself just thinking that this is a waste of time, a waste of potential. I definitely have this mindset that I didn't know at the time. I told myself there's this mindset that you have that you maybe don't know yet that you're kind of wasting when you're just wasting your time doom scrolling because you don't even have time to focus on your visions or what your brain is telling you they want when you're just wasting your time scrolling. You don't have time for that. So I was so mad with myself. I was always just kind of like, ugh, this is so annoying. I don't want to be addicted to it. But it was just always there. And I had low self discipline, okay? To be completely honest with you, it was just hard. It was just hard. But with time, I kind of forced myself to get away from it, stop doing this, or I just stopped doing blah blah blah. And slowly I started deleting my social media, I started deleting my pages. Um, and I started deleting applications because at the time I wasn't a content creator, so it was easier for me to just delete everything. And so, I did that for quite a while, maybe for a year, but through that year, I was going through this cycle that was kind of toxic. At some point, I was pretty good. I was consistent with my journey, but at some point, I kept going back, doom scrolling again, even for longer than before. And it was just so tiring, so exhausting, so bad. It was just getting out of control, to be completely honest with you. I was going through this cycle, blah, blah, blah. And with time, I think it was kind of recent. Maybe when I was in maybe the end of 10th grade. Yeah, it's the end of 10th grade until now is when I really started on working on this and I started just completely literally for my connections, my friends, we used to communicate on these social media applications, but then I told them, you know what? I'm not gonna be using social media anymore. I can't communicate on social media with you guys anymore. I actually have to focus on this, focus on that, and I just can't have it. So I told them this, that, and we started just to figure out how we would communicate. And obviously, you can just communicate with people on your phone number. Just have their phone number, and you can just text them. So that's how I started working. Whoever the heck I have as a connection, I just talk to them on my phone number and just text them from there. And honestly, I like it because it's not a form of social media. It's just like you're texting and you're just interacting with the person and you just can't directly call them. And it's still fun to me. And I had more control over my life. So then I started doing that, but I kept going back to TikTok. But then I remember I had this 2 month vacation and during those months I just completely deleted everything. Even YouTube. I started YouTube at that time, but I deleted it completely. And I had this whole, I swear to you, these 2 months were literally my best friends. It was literally the reason why I'm the way I am today and why I have control over what I want to do today. I had this whole self vision. No, not literally, I just discovered who the heck I was for the first time, I could say. And it was just so magical because for the first time, I knew who the heck I was. Before, I just had no idea. Sometimes you tell yourself, oh, you live into this body, so you know who the heck you are. But you don't until you actually face yourself. And I faced everything. I faced my problems, I faced my hardships, and everything as such. And I realized a lot of things that made me the way I am today and have the mentality that I had today. And I just basically reconstructed myself. And it was just so beautiful. And even till this day, I just feel so great about doing that. Because it was truly out of sight and it was out of mind. During these true consistent months, I had no social media. I still had my phone, but I didn't use social media. I didn't have anything related to social media. It was just literally out of sight. And I swear to you, I did not think of it as much. And my stress was so low because I was so stressed when I was using social media constantly. But my stress was so low. I had focus on myself, focus on my visions, focusing on myself and what I would want for myself. And I just had control over everything part of me finally. And it was just so freeing. I felt so free. I felt so amazing. And all this anxiety I used to have, I was such an anxious person. I swear to you, I'm not kidding. But these 2 months made me more of a social person. It forced me out of my comfort zone. It forced me to just do things that I used to not do back then. I talked more to people. It was enjoying talking to people, which was so rare. Before I was so self-conscious, so self-conscious, and I was just so scared to even talk or have a conversation with anyone. But with these 2 months, only 2 months, I was enjoying conversations with people. I was talking with a bunch of people. I wanted to talk to people. I was taking care of my body and stuff as such. Even though now, to be completely honest, my last school year of high school, I literally just my self discipline when it came to my overall health, body health, like ugh. But anyway, we're not talking about that right now. Maybe another time. But I had so much control over what I didn't have, and I felt so good in my skin. I felt so good. I felt so excited to live. I felt so good. Life just felt like life again. Because I don't know if you can remember when you were a kid, you just felt so free as a kid. You felt alive. And I finally felt that because I wasn't on that dang phone. At the end of the day, you just have to realize that the dang phone can be the problem or is the problem. It's literally depriving you from living, basically. So I finally had control over everything and I felt amazing. And to be completely honest, after those vacations, I did go back on social media, obviously, because I started becoming a content creator, so I just had to. But I had more control over how I used it, how frequently I used it, and for what I used it. But to be completely honest, there were times where I did go back to scrolling and everything else such, but I had more control, okay? And those times I just intentionally wanted to. And I'm not saying that you can't scroll. You can, okay? But you have to have control and you have to know that you're doing it because you want to and not because your body is telling you you have to. And you have to have a life, okay? Social media is making you not have a life. Your life is basically entertainment. But you have to have your own entertainment, your own life, and build your own life based off you and real life people. And stop idolizing these random celebrities or people that you don't even know about. Please. Please don't do it. Please don't. But yeah, honestly, it was so freeing. when I actually realized what life was without social media, and I'm so glad I put myself through that. It took a lot of time. I'm not gonna lie to you, at least 2 to 3 years for me to actually, work on that addiction. And yeah, now I use my time more efficiently, and I know when the heck I use social media for what purpose, for whatever the heck it is. And I don't use it just because. I use it because maybe I want to, maybe I need to produce content, maybe I have to post a video. So I use it intentionally because I have more control over why I use it. If I go outside, I don't feel awkward not being on my phone because, before I used to use my phone just to not seem like a weirdo or just, I don't know how to, when you're maybe on your own, you're alone, you don't have like a friend beside you, so you can't talk to anyone. So you just use your phone to seem as if you're doing something. Yeah, basically. Now I don't feel, even if I'm not with a friend or anything as such, I feel completely comfortable just not being on my phone. I prefer not being on my phone and just maybe sitting around. Maybe I'm at the mall and I'm just tired of walking, so I just sit on the bench and I just don't do anything. I just observe everything. I prefer doing that than just being on my phone. But people just feel so awkward not using their phone when there's no one around them. And honestly, that's why I think that this kind of journey of deleting the application, then out of sight, of out of mind, then discipline, then uh what's it even called? Mind strength and everything as such is really important to build. But basically that, I think that's what it is. And that's how I did it. That's how I think you should do it. And that's how I think it's going to benefit you the best. And yeah, have control over yourself, have control over your life, your decisions. No one is in control of you, please. No one is, okay? You're in control of yourself. Always be in control of yourself. Stop blaming every little mistake you do on someone else or a situation. It's always your fault. Always say it. Always believe that it's your fault, okay? If you didn't have the greatest score on your test, it's your fault. If you didn't have motivation for something and you missed that deadline that you promised for yourself, it's your fault. So uh things that are important to you and that you plan on doing and that you don't do, it's your fault. And always, when you tell yourself that, you start improving and wanting to do more because you don't want it to be your fault anymore. No, you don't want it to always keep happening. So you're gonna do something about it when you take ac- oh my god, I don't know how to say it, so I'm not gonna say it. But basically that. Anyway, it's been a whole hour, and I'm guessing that today's session is done. And so, oh my gosh, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm probably gonna go live later on next week. Probably gonna go live twice a week. Twice next week. But basically that, and yeah, it was my first time trying out this kind of live stream style. So bear with me, and I hope it was all good. Subscribe and join the community, or subscribe to join the community, and stay tuned for the upcoming video. Please, guys, let's go. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Thank you guys so much. Goodbye. Oh, is it on? Oh my god, it is. Okay. Goodbye.